After just a week of DoorDash introducing a brand new pilot Dasher rewards program, a lot of Dashers are upset. But not all drivers. In this video, I'm going to give you a fresh perspective of what drivers are actually saying, who are the real winners and losers in all of this, and who stands to actually make the most money. So this three-tiered approach, the silver, the gold, and the platinum levels really heavily leverage your acceptance rate as well as completion rate, lifetime deliveries, and more. Now, does that make sense even at the lowest 50% acceptance rate for that silver status? Because if you don't have silver, gold, or platinum, you're at the bottom of the list for priority to higher paying orders. Now, we're not doing a complete breakdown of this new Dasher rewards pilot program. I'll leave a video linked for you in the description if you want to catch up on that. But what are Dashers saying right now to this program that was just announced about a week ago? One driver says that the high priority offers are BS on DoorDash's part. Their ultimate goal is to get food delivered to the customer as quickly as possible. It doesn't make sense to give an order to someone who's 5 miles away just because they're priority access. And that was one consideration I had with this new program. So imagine you're going for the higher AR, the 50% or 70%, and then obviously completion rate, etc., that you have literally higher priority to those higher paying orders. So why would DoorDash send it to a driver that's 3 minutes further away, or 5 minutes, or what? How long does it go? How long is that radius? 7 minutes away from the standard Dasher who's pretty close to the restaurant, but they're not silver, gold, or platinum status. My take on that is it's going to be extremely touch and go, because is the customer really going to notice a 1 to a 5 minute difference in their ETA? Because they may not even look at their ETA, or that ETA might be sent, and probably is sent, after that Dasher is assigned. So they're not even going to know if it should take 8 minutes versus 13 minutes. Being touch and go, I think the company is going to monitor that and say, well, we have to honor giving more of these higher paying orders to silver through platinum Dashers while not affecting the customer experience. Now, what about those low paying offers? Because DoorDash's base pay is $2 to $10. So $2 on the low end, and then combine that if the customer doesn't tip. One driver says they need to pay more than $2.50 per order. This is not cherry picking by rejecting them. It's common sense that you're paying to work for DoorDash if you're accepting this crap. Cherry picking my... So cherry picking is just the verbiage to cover choosing the best orders for you, honestly. And that's what we want for you, and that's what's allowed as an independent contractor. We want the best dollars to mile ratio, and we don't want it to take a lot of time, the dollars to time ratio. Now, should DoorDash skip the tiers and increase the minimum pay? Again, $2.50 isn't near enough at all. I agree, $2, $3, $4, even $5 is not nearly enough. I don't care about the dollars to mile ratio. Is the company going to do it? Absolutely not. And it's my job to help you make money in different side hustles. Clearly, a very small percent of Dashers and gig workers watch videos like this. I hope it's understood that you don't take things for like $2.50, $3.25 orders, but there's Dashers and just, food delivery, Uber Eats, Grubhub in general. Drivers will take that. They can't stop you from declining orders if you read the contract. It's in there. And again, that's very clearly, as an independent contractor, this is also on their support page as well, when it talks about acceptance rate, then yes, you can decline as much as you want for prospective orders. So yes, you can decline all day, but if you had any interest at all in going for silver, gold, or platinum, then that's going to hamper you even more, because you're not going to reach that 50% minimum threshold. And if you are a silver through platinum Dasher, then you have to maintain that. You have to keep that. It isn't like Top Dasher where they measured only on the last day of the month. This is a rolling qualification window. So as soon as you dip below that 50% AR, then you lose access to the at least first level of priority access to the high paying orders. Conversely, listen to this, drop a like on this video if you can, check out your Drive for My Dynamite.com, our site for courses and resources to help you make money in these gigs in the side hustle economy. Let's look at another perspective though. So this driver says, quote, "To be honest, this reward program doesn't affect me too much." And based on this, their stat would be platinum level with an 88% acceptance rate and a 100% completion rate. Among those 88% accepted orders, low paying orders take about 30%, but they are decreasing. Now, every time this driver gets a lower paying order and they do reject it, they always mark the order is too small classification when it asks you why you're canceling. They further state, after repeatedly declining the small orders and submitting that reasoning, most of the orders that they got are now over $9, and they say they're not sure if the algorithm is smart enough to catch it. That is something that I have thought about for years, and in combing through most every single support page on DoorDash, I have never found a concrete correlation to your decline, rejection, I should say, reasoning, and actually doing anything about it, if we're honest. As in, if you mark the order's too small, will the algorithm, will DoorDash actually respect it and say, hey, we've noticed you've marked the orders too small 9 times. Here's some more higher paying orders like this driver's citing. Do you think that's just anecdotal, or do you think that the algorithm is actually picking up on that? In my honest opinion, I have never really seen a correlation of marking, because that's what I would always do. I'd always mark that the order's too low in hopes of getting higher paying orders. I don't think there's a correlation, but what do you think? Continuing, the driver said, DoorDash never asked me to drive further for a high paying order, but how do you know that, right? You're going to get the, silver, hey, you're getting this order. Actually, here's an example. This one, it's gold, and it says you're getting this order because you have gold status, and it's 5 some miles away. You don't really know, right, if it would have been 4 miles for a standard Dasher, and they're sending it to you who's 5 miles out, and you got it because you have that priority. And then here's my question to anyone that would go for these tiers, 50% or 70% AR on that rolling basis that we talked about, is this driver said that bad orders were 30% of the pie. They were decreasing, at least in their anecdotal evidence here, that still, let's say it decreases to 15 to 20% of your orders are just bad. Is that, answer this down below in the comments, is that going to offset the benefit that you get from the higher paying orders? So at the end of the day, per hour, are you making more money as a platinum driver than a gold driver, than a silver driver, than a regular Dasher driver? This driver says, I would be platinum. I'm at that level right now. I would drive 5 minutes for large pay and order pickups. I would frankly drive 5 minutes too. If I'm making $3 plus a mile, I would commute further because of that, as long as the overall dollars to mile ratio still makes sense. Continuing, quote, I dash 8 to 10 hours a day and don't double app because they're using the earn by time method. Almost $18 an hour in this market, and they accept every single order, and quotes are making bank. So here's the thing. Here's something completely different. The earn by time, where you have to basically accept everything. You can only decline once per hour, or you're going to be forced into earn by order. And on top of that, DoorDash says if you are going to opt in for earn by time, that those orders might have lower tips. So if you're going for platinum by accepting at least 70%, and frankly, if you're doing earn by time, it's gonna be higher than 70%, because again, you can only decline once per hour, then will you make more than, let's say, the $18? Let's say $18 is the earn by time guarantee. Would you make more than that because, let's say, as a platinum, you have the highest priority to the high paying orders? Now, what if your problem is not earn by time and that restriction of only 1 decline per hour? What if it's not volume, I'm so busy, I got to accept whatever they're throwing at me to keep the 50 or 70 AR? What if your problem is you're in a smaller market and you're just not getting a lot of orders at all, so you want to take at least what's coming in? So this driver says, if I didn't accept almost every offer, I'd be dead on arrival. So they'd be platinum according to these metrics. And, quote, this explains why my earnings have skyrocketed in the past 2 to 3 weeks. So think about this. If you're in a small or a small, medium, whatever market, and you don't get a lot of orders per hour, if you accept every single order because it's either slow or it's super rural, then that's going to crank up your acceptance rate. You're going to hit the silver, gold, or platinum status. And then along with that, of course, you get the higher, and highest priority to the highest paying orders. But then wouldn't the problem with that be, well, yeah, you get priority to the highest paying orders, but there's not a lot of orders to begin with. So how many of those are you really going to get every hour? Now, one more time, let's go back to the other side of the argument here. Like, hey, this fits me. I could be platinum and this makes sense, right? Now, this driver says reward elites can take those $2 to $3 orders to keep their acceptance rate high. I'll just cherry pick my way through those offers. Nothing's changed. So that goes back to my first consideration that yes, silver, gold, and platinum get access at varying, increasing levels of priority to the high paying orders, but at the consequence of accepting 50 to 70% of overall orders. We even saw anecdotally that other driver said like, yeah, 30% of my orders aren't high paying. So again, I mentioned this, answer this down below. Is it going to be a net positive in hourly earnings? Or is basically everyone going to be the same? Are cherry pickers, as you can do as an independent contractor, going to make the most money? Or are silver or gold or platinum, who's going to make the most money?